Hello everyone and welcome back to Ruby Lessons in Codecademy. So in the last lesson we expanded our knowledge on arrays. Today, as I mentioned in the last video, we're going to be talking about hashes. Also, before I get started on hashes, I would like to show you something that you can also do with arrays. So for example, if you have an array that has the following values. Oops, I did not mean to delete that. And also this is going to bug me if I leave it as it is. 6. If you want to access the first element, you have to do the following. 0. Oops, not the 0 there. 0. So this is going to get you a value of 1. But what if you didn't want to count to 6? What if you didn't want to access 5? What if you didn't want to do this to get the number 6? Because you might not know, you know that 6 is the last value, but you might not know how many values there are in between here. So you might have something like this. You don't know that 6 is, which indice 6 is at, you just know that it's at the very end. So how to access the very last element is by starting to count in the negatives. So -1 is this value, -2 is this value, -3 is this value. So that's just expanding even our knowledge even more of arrays. If you wanted to count from the back, you start with minus numbers, and they work like normal numbers. So -1 is the last element, -2 is the second to last. And if you want to start counting from the start, then you count from 0 in positive numbers. Okay, so now that I have mentioned that, let's move on to today's lesson. So introduction to hashes. We know that arrays are indexed with numbers that start with 0 and go up to the array's length -1. So if you think about it, you have indices of 0 to 3, but there are 4 elements. Just think about it more and you will see what it means there. Pause the video if you need. But what if we want to use numeric indices that don't go in order from 0 to the end of the array? What if we don't want to use numbers as indices at all? We'll need a new array structure called a hash. So hashes are sort of like JavaScript objects or Python dictionaries. And they're normally known as dictionaries in most programming languages. If you haven't studied those languages, all you need to know that a hash is a collection of key value pairs. So you have a key to unlock the value that is stored under that key. So hash syntax looks like this. You have a hash. You have key 1 gives you value 1, key 2 gives you value 2, key 3 gives you value 3. And in this structure, you can define either of these two terms. So key 3 can be your own definition. So for key 3, you can have the string 9 or the integer 9. And for value 3, you can have the value which 9 unlocks, sort of to saying. So you can have something like, this is number 9, once you access key 3. So values are assigned to keys using the arrow equal to greater than sign. You can use any Ruby object for a key or value, as it says here and as I mentioned before. So instructions. We've created a hash in the editor to the right. See how it's made up of keys and values. So check out the code below. It should look vaguely similar. Below, I think it means here. Click 7 submit code to see what it'll do. So we have age is 20. If you access if you have the key age, then it's going to give you 26. If you access the key hungry, it's going to give you true. So what name should give you? Should be Eric. Age should give you 26. Hungry should give you true. So those are the keys. If you had it in an array, then you would have Eric under 0, 26 under 2, under 1, sorry, and true under 3. But in this case, we are creating our own indices in a way, and we are naming them, and we are accessing the values they contain through those keys. Hopefully that makes sense. So if I 7 submit, let's see what happens. As you can see, we get Eric, 26, true. Ignore the nil. So this is very useful in some cases. In some cases, using an array, you're much better off. So using hash.new. What we just showed you was hash literal notation. We call it that because you literally describe what you want it in the hash. You give it a name and you set it equal to a bunch of key to value pairs inside curly braces. You can also create a hash using hash.new, like so. So my hash equals hash.new. That just creates a blank hash. So setting a variable equal to hash.new creates a new empty hash, or blank as I call it. It's the same as setting the variable equal to empty curly braces. So my hash equals hash.new is the same as my hash equals curly braces, like this. Instructions: hash.new to use hash.new to create a new hash called pets. So you can do it like this or hash.new, because this is sometimes more readable and follows convention more closely. Hash must be capitalized in the same way, or Ruby won't know what you're talking about, because hash like this would be a variable that you might have defined before. And in this case, because it's not defined, it's going to give you a variable undefined error. So let's submit, and let's move on. Adding to a hash. So now that we have created this hash, how do we add to it? How do we use it? We can add to a hash in two ways. If we created it using literal notation, we can simply add a new key value pair directly, like we did in the very first lesson, by just having stuff between the curly braces. If we use hash.new, we can add to the hash using bracket notation. So you define a new key by doing pets, square brackets, the name of the key equals whatever you want the value to be for that key. Add a pet to your pet's hash. It can be any key value pair you like. So pets, I don't know, something, I'm going to set it equal to something. We have, I'm actually going to do the other way around, so I'm going to have the cat. Or actually no, that way around does make much more sense. Let's call it, why not? Let's go with my channel name, because I just decided on doing that. Michael, and it will be a cat. Michael is going to be a cat. So if I want to see what Michael is, I can just put the key Michael, and I'm going to see that it's a cat. That's how it would be used in practice. And as you can see, it prints cat. Just ignore that from Codecademy, because that's what they do. Accessing hash values. So now that we have these, how do we actually use them practically? So you can just, as I said in the very start of this video, you can access them pretty much like a normal array, where instead of a number you have the key. In the example above, we create a hash called pets, then we print cat by accessing the key Stevie in the pets hash. Instructions: access the key value pair you added to pets, just like step 2 in the example above. So pets, I'll unlock the cat with Michael. You can also think of it like that. That is what I normally think of it as, because it's called a key. It unlocks something that's stored, or the value that's stored under that key. And this should print, well, it's not going to print anything, is it? I need to put it. So now that's going to print cat. Good, that is exactly what we get. So there are many good uses of a dictionary. You can even create a dictionary with a dictionary if you really wanted to, even though that's not very useful in programming normally, unless you're a hacker. For some reason you want to hack passwords. But yeah, other than that, if you have any questions about this video or any of the videos in general, then do feel free to ask in the comments down below. I will answer them as soon as possible. If you like this video, please give it a like, share and subscribe. It really helps me out and encourages me to make more videos for you. If you didn't like it though, give me a dislike and tell me why you disliked it so I can improve for next time. I know I repeat myself every video, but feedback does really help me out, and it really helps me out to improve so that more videos do watch and enjoy my videos genuinely. So until next time, thank you so much for watching and goodbye.